Hey guys, so it's a chilly day here in South Florida. It actually got down into the 40s this morning. But today I want to show you what's happening in the front of my house and how I've been trying to keep my front yard looking as presentable as possible. I'll also be talking about some of the products I've used and how effective they've been for me. And just a disclaimer, I am not getting paid by any of these products, so I will tell you the truth of how effective they are. Before I start with the more recent stuff, let me go back and give you a little history of my front yard. I have my loquat tree in front of my house off to the side and a bunch of pineapple plants in the corners, but other than that, the rest of my fruit trees are growing in my backyard. My goal is to try to at least keep my house having some curb appeal with the nicest looking yard I possibly can. When I moved into my house almost 7 years ago, it had a really nice lush St. Augustine grass yard. At that point, I also had a working in-ground irrigation system. I was able to keep it looking nice by just making sure it was watered enough, although I was still using some sporadic weed and feed for lawn products. This all changed about 2 years ago when we did a major construction project on my house. Between September 2022 and March 2023, we had all sorts of heavy machinery ripping up our lawn and even had to do some significant excavation under the lawn to make alterations to our sewer lines. Not only did the actual construction destroy portions of the lawn, but it also broke my irrigation lines in multiple spots, so I did not run the system during construction. Being the dry season, it took a toll on the lawn. Finally, in April 2023, I resodded the portions that were excavated, although I still did not have a working irrigation system, so I watered the new sod with a hose sprinkler, which did work, as all the sod grew nicely, but by the end of that summer, the damaged St. Augustine grass allowed weeds to take over the lawn. The worst of it was these huge patches of crabgrass, along with spurge, creeping beggarweed, and nutsedge. But after the wet summer, the dry season came in strong, and with my irrigation still broken, my lawn turned pretty brown by June 2024. This picture was taken on the last day of the dry season drought, as right after this we got about 10 inches of rain, which made the weeds sprout and turn to this. And this is where I decided to try and take back my lawn.
All right, so here we go. This is September 2024, end of the rainy season, so we've gotten good rains all summer, and this is what the lawn is looking like. It is all completely covered with weeds. There is some St. Augustine grass still there, but mostly weeds. Got a lot of spurge, some crabgrass. But here we go. So I just got Celsius. I'm going to use the whole thing as according to the label. I'm going to put it in just a little hand pump, and let's see what happens. All right, so this is just a couple days after I applied it, and you can already see all of this creeping beggarweed, which is really hard to control because it with these like runners that go under the grass, but it's all turning yellow really quickly. So that's a good sign. It seems that this beggarweed does not like the Celsius. Don't really see any other weeds just yet being impacted, but we'll see what happens. All this yellow is this creeping beggarweed. All right, so here we are a couple weeks later. The St. Augustine grass took a hit from the Celsius. You could see kind of where I was spraying it in these kind of rows of kind of brownness. So yeah, it's not looking good right now. But supposedly this is what happens. The St. Augustine grass kind of just takes a little hit and then it bounces back while all the weeds die. So it's not looking so great right now, but I do have hope. Over here too. It definitely is killing all the weeds. Lots of brown patches. All right, here's another couple weeks later. Still not looking so great. Do have all these weeds are dying. The grass is maybe coming back a little bit. I think it looks a little worse on camera. The browns are kind of coming in more than the greens. There's still, I don't know if you could see, but there's lots of spurge growing. I think I'm just going to pull it by hand. Spurge didn't seem to be impacted by the Celsius as much as some of the other weeds like the creeping beggar weed. So I think I'm going to pull some spurge. This is all the spurge I just pulled by hand. There's a lot of it. This garbage can's about half full, all with spurge that I just pulled out. The spurge is actually really nice to pull out. Easy, just one long tap root that you could just pull. So here we are on Christmas. Actually, just after the last video, in the end of October, I got Scott's Turf Builder Bonus S and spread that around the entire yard. It's looking really nice right now. It's a lot better than it did a couple months ago, so I think that actually worked well. That Scott's Turf Builder is a weed and feed, so it kills the weeds and fertilizes the grass. Still got some brown patches over there. Been having trouble with that side of the yard. But overall, the grass is looking better. Better than it did at least. Still could use some improvement. But I've been running the sprinklers about 3 days a week. So that's probably been helping. Still got some patches that the grass needs to grow into. Here we are early this year in January. Grass is growing in better. It's definitely a big improvement than last fall. That's for sure. Do have some weeds growing in there. I think I'm going to get another Celsius and spray it again. There's got lots of weeds here. Over on this side of the lawn, there's actually a lot of dollar weed growing in. It's like all dollar weed over here. Still got lots of weeds up here. So yeah, I'm going to get another package of Celsius and spray it again. So we'll see what happens. Alright, so I just sprayed it. Another application of Celsius. There's all the creeping beggar weed coming back. There's all the creeping beggar weed. Hoping the Celsius will kill. But overall, looking pretty good. There's some clover there. Patches of that. Also the dollar weed here. Quite a bit of that over there. Alright, so let's give it another week and see what happens with the Celsius. You can see here, again, creeping beggar weed is turning yellow. Grass is looking nice. The grass did not die back like it did last time I sprayed it with the Celsius. The dollar weed is all turning yellow. That got killed pretty nicely. But overall, the lawn's looking pretty nice. And here we are just a week ago. It's looking a little worse over here. I think it's showing up poorly on the video. It's bad lighting, but overall, it's actually looking pretty green. I did put down some Scott's Weed X Preventer, which is supposed to stop the crabgrass from growing in the summer. I'm supposed to apply that in the early spring, which is what I just did. I also put down some just basic 10-10-10 fertilizer I feel like I haven't really fertilized the grass in a while. So overall, it's definitely looking better than it did this time a year ago. Still a work in progress. It's looking pretty brown over here. I think it's just the video, the lighting. It's really not that brown. But yeah, we'll see what happens. This is it. Stick with it. Hopefully I'll keep the yard looking nice. Let me know if you have any comments, if you have any suggestions of what I should do. Alright, thanks for watching. Alright, so I let it go another couple of weeks to see what would happen, and it actually is getting much nicer now. I think the fertilizer is kicking in because the grass is getting nice and thicker now, and it's looking a little more green. It's actually growing in nicely in this patch that used to just be dead zone right here. But yeah, it's looking good now. We did get some rain a couple days ago, which probably helped it, and I got my sprinklers going. So yeah, it's looking pretty good now. I like how it's turned out. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll update you later if there's anything interesting.